So I'm going to share my screen. Has anyone seen this 2020 AP testing guide already? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, so this is the 2020 AP testing guide for the new format. And there are some things that I want to point out. So first, there's a checklist on College Board that you can look at to make sure that you have everything checked off for which exam you're going to take. A list of required documents that you all need to have printed or downloaded for each specific exam. And there's a testing demo that's available right now. And you can use that before testing. That means that you can log in and simulate what it will feel like on actual test day. So you're not trying to do it for the first time when you log in on testing day. So I would highly recommend that you go in and do that testing demo, walk through what it's like so you're more comfortable and more focused the day of the test. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your AP exam e-ticket. That's your entry key to the exam, the 5 steps that you need to take before exam day, what exam day will be like, and then when you can get your scores, learn about credit, and how you're going to be placed in college based on your score. So you're going to receive your e-ticket by email 2 days before each test. So if you're taking a Monday test, you can expect your e-ticket tomorrow. You'll get a unique ticket for each exam that you're registered for, and you can also access that ticket in your student account on My AP at the College Board website. Each e-ticket is personalized for you, and it will not transfer to someone else. Don't share it with anyone else. If you do, you're going to lose your chance to test because that's a form of academic dishonesty. And then the AP program won't accept any more additional exam registrations. So all of you are already registered. You don't have to worry about that. But if you wanted to add a last minute test, that's not going to be possible this year. And then you need to make sure to save the e-ticket email that you get in May, just in case you need to request a makeup exam. If something happens during testing, you get sick, the internet goes down, you'll automatically be registered for a June test, but you need to keep that May e-ticket email. So your e-ticket is going to look something like this. It'll have your name, your AP ID, the subject test that you're taking and what day, and then the local equivalent of your time. So all of the times posted are Eastern time. You guys will be taking Central Daylight Time test, and then you'll be able to go to your exam. Now note at the bottom where it says the ticket will activate 30 minutes before your exam. It's important that you actually enter the exam 30 minutes before the start time, because there are security protocols that you're going to have to go through. So you're going to have to prove that you are you. You're going to have to upload a picture of yourself, probably take a picture of your surroundings, and that takes time. So if you wait until the test is supposed to start before logging in, that 30 minutes of security protocol is going to eat into your testing time. So what you had 45 minutes for, you now will have 15. Does that make sense? Anybody have a question? Okay, so you're all going to log in 30 minutes before the actual test time to complete all of those security steps. The e-ticket that you get will be available for the May exam schedule. So US Gov and Pol is on Monday and Physics C is on Monday. On Tuesday, if you're in calculus, you're going to take that test on Tuesday. On Wednesday is the English Lit test. On Thursday is the AP Physics 1. On Friday is the US History and also Computer Science A. Monday the 18th is the biology test. Tuesday the 19th is both music theory and psychology. Wednesday the 20th is AP Lang. Thursday the 21st is world history. And then on the 22nd, we don't actually have anyone testing this year. So make sure that you know what times you're supposed to log in and which tests are on which day. Set reminders on your phone, set reminders on your calendar, set reminders everywhere so you don't forget. All the exams are also offered on a makeup date in June. There's only 1 week of makeup, and they have 6 or more tests per day instead of 3 tests per day. So if you are in AP Lang and in AP Psychology and you're waiting until June to take your test, you're going to take those on the same day. So each subject's exam is going to be taken simultaneously worldwide. So every student in the world who's taking the AP biology exam is going to be taking the AP biology exam at the exact same time. It'll be 1 p.m. in the afternoon here, but it'll be 2 p.m. in New York, 8 p.m. in Madrid, or 11 in LA. The only students who don't need to worry about an exact time are students who are taking studio art and design, the computer science principles course, or the research or seminar courses. Those are portfolio courses, and your portfolio must be submitted by May 26th at midnight. Are there any questions so far? Okay, one of the things that the College Board wants you to know is that it's not going to be any more difficult to earn a 3, 4, or 5 this year. So even though you're only going to have 1 or 2 questions, those questions are designed to look at your overall learning in the class. So you should still be able to get a 3, 4, or 5. AP exams are never graded on a curve. You're not competing against any other students. They're standards based, so either you have demonstrated that you know the standard or you have not. And then don't worry if you've not completed all parts of the question before you need to attach and submit your response. The question has multiple parts, and each part will be graded separately. So make sure that you submit on time, even if you're not quite finished. So this year, for the first time ever, if you don't get a score of a 3 or higher, and your teacher believes that you should have, then they will be able to request review and get confirmation of your score. So basically, they can challenge the score that the College Board is giving you if they feel like maybe they need to look at the response again. So that doesn't mean that you should turn in your worst work. It still means you should turn in your best work. But if you got an unfair review the first time, you can challenge the score and have another reviewer look at it. The exam questions are viewed by students in a web browser like Chrome or Internet Explorer. You can type or write your response outside of the browser, and then you can choose from 3 different options to submit your responses. You can copy and paste a typed response, you can attach a typed response, or you can attach 1 or more photos of a handwritten response. Music theory has specific requirements that we'll talk about in just a little bit. So if you're copying and pasting a typed response, it's best to type your response in Google Docs, Microsoft Word, or Notes. Don't include any images. Type your AP ID and initials at the top of the response. When the timer has 5 minutes remaining, copy and paste your response into the space and then click submit. So if you have side-by-side windows, window 1 will be Chrome, probably, where the exam question is. After you've clicked on your e-ticket, that's going to display the test question, display your timer, and that's where you'll paste and submit your typed response. Window 2 is where you'll actually type your document in Google Docs or Microsoft Word or Notes. Any questions so far? Okay, so that was the copy and paste option. The next option is the submit option. The best device to use, so if you're going to submit, is either a laptop or your desktop computer. You can type it in Google Docs, Microsoft Word, Notes, or similar application. Don't include any images in your typing. Make sure you save. And then you need to save it in one of the files listed here. So a doc, a docx, a PDF, a text, or an ODT. Type your AP ID and your initials at the top of the response. When the timer has 5 minutes remaining, attach your response and click submit. And they're going to keep saying that, but it's really important. You don't want to wait until the very last minute to try to submit your response, because if something happens, you're going to be out of time and not be able to submit anything. So always give yourselves that cushion, that 5-minute cushion, in case something happens. You can document it, you can get on with tech support and try to get your response in without feeling super rushed. If your exam has 2 questions, then you need to create, save, attach, and submit 2 separate documents, one for each question. And again, you'll have this side-by-side windows. One window will display the test question, and then the other window will be where you type your document. Option 3 is attaching photos of your handwritten response and then clicking submit. So again, make sure that you write your AP ID, your initials, and your page number at the top of each page of your response. So if you miss a page and it goes missing, then part of your response is going to be missing, and that will affect your score. So always be sure to write your AP ID, your initials, and your page number at the top of each page of your response. In fact, you can do that ahead of time so that it's already ready to go. And then you can just add the page numbers after you've written your response. Make sure that you write clearly with a dark pen or pencil. And then when your timer has 5 minutes remaining, take a photo in portrait, not in landscape, so vertically oriented. 1 page per photo. If your response is longer than 1 page, you'll need to attach multiple photos. There's a maximum of 5 photos per test question. Okay, by page number, it means like if you have 3 pages of a written response, Ashia, then you're going to write page 1 on the first page of your response, page 2 on the second page of your response, and page 3 on the third. And you guys can talk to me because I'm going to miss the chat window while I'm talking. All I can see is my screen.
Well, okay, so I know for AP Physics, I have 2 tests.
Okay.
And do I have to do both of the work like repeatedly, or do I have 2 different papers?
It'll be 2 different papers.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then make sure that you save those photos as PNG files or JPEG files. Attach all of your pages at the same time and then click submit. So you're probably going to want a smartphone or a tablet if you're doing it this way. You're going to need a display with the question, and you may need to scroll within the question to see all of it. You'll need a display for the timer, and then you need to use it to take photos of your work and attach them and submit them once you're done. Okay, we have a couple of kids who are taking the music theory exam. In this case, you're going to need, the best device for you to use is going to be a smartphone or a tablet, and you need to have a recording app already installed on your phone. So print or copy the 2020 question 1 music theory answer sheet, which you can download on AP Exam Day Docs. Prepare your extra answer sheets in case of mistakes, so have extra staff paper for scratch work. And then make sure you have an audio recording app or an audio recording software like Recorder, Voice Memos, GarageBand, or Audacity if you're using a computer to record your sight singing performance. Copy by hand the portions of question 1 onto your answer sheet and then complete the question. Take a photo of your completed answer sheet, attach it, and click submit before the time expires for question 1, and then follow the directions to record your melodies for question 2, pausing when instructed to ensure that both melodies are included in a single audio file. So you're going to want to make sure that you're in an M4A, an MP3, a WAV, or an OGG file for that audio file. And they give very clear instructions. So it's important that you just follow them and then submit it before time expires. We don't have anyone taking world language exams. We don't have anyone taking exams with accommodations. So requesting a makeup exam. So in the past, I would have done this for you. I would have requested the makeup exam. This year, that's not the way this works. So if you have any issue on exam day that prevents you from testing successfully, you'll be directed to an online AP makeup testing request form where you can describe what happened and request an e-ticket for a June makeup exam. You can also access the form at cb.org/request makeup. You must Must have your original e-ticket when you fill out the form. So don't delete those emails. Make sure that you know exactly where they are. Put them in an AP exam folder in your inbox if you need to, but make sure they are where you know where they are. And then submit that form within 48 hours of the original exam date. They're gonna review the form and send you an email approving or denying the request the week of Memorial Day. If you're approved, your new makeup e-ticket will be sent 2 days before the makeup test. Don't call AP services. There's no one there to answer your call. You're just going to hear a message telling you to go fill out the form. And then rest assured that you will receive approval for any of the following types of issues that you encounter, like a sickness, a significant interruption from a family member, a battery failure, a power outage, a technical disruption. Running out of time is not a valid reason to request makeup testing. So if everything worked fine and you just ran out of time, that's not something that you can request makeup for. That's just, you ran out of time. So make sure that you're aware of that timer at all times and that you're taking advantage of the time that you're given. So the exam screen is going to guide you through step-by-step on test day from the moment that you click on your e-ticket. So most of you are going to be able to navigate using only the information on the slides that came before this one. But if something unexpected happens while you're testing at home, it may benefit you to do some additional preparation and technology checks just to make sure it works. That's why it's important to go take that practice test, the run through, that's not going to be an actual test, just to make sure that everything works well and that you know how it's going to function. So these are 5 things you need to do before exam day. First, if you're not receiving regular emails from College Board, you need to log in and make sure that you're using a personal email address so that you can receive them. Make sure that you check the technology that you're going to use. So choose the device you're going to use. Make sure that you know where it is. You know where your paper is if you're going to use paper. You've got a dark pen, all of those things. Get everything ready to take the test. Practice submitting your response. So do that online AP exam demo. It's available now. It includes a practice mode so that you can go through it. Gather what you're going to need for each exam. So consult the AP Exam Day Docs website, then download, print, or gather any additional materials that you're going to need for specific tests. And then make sure that you receive your exam confirmation and your e-ticket emails. If you don't get those 2 days before you're supposed to take your test, please let me know so that we can figure out what's going on. Any questions so far? Okay. It's a good practice just to go in and make sure that all of your information is correct if you haven't checked that yet. So sign into MyAP, confirm that your email address is correct. Go to your account settings and confirm that your email address is the one you want to use for your e-ticket. If you need to change it, make sure that you click update. In subscriptions, confirm that you've checked the box to receive updates from College Board. Then create a new contact with the email address collegeboard@ecollegeboard.org in your address book so that messages from College Board don't get sent to the spam folder. And if you don't get those emails, check your AP account on the College Board site to see your e-ticket there. So please go on to the College Board site, make sure that you can log on and that everything is information. Or everything is information. All your information is correct. Y'all, it's been a long day. Okay, check your tech. Make sure that you choose the correct device, the one that's going to allow you to be the most successful for whichever mode that you're using. And make sure that you have all of the exam day docs that you're going to need. If you're more comfortable handwriting, make sure that you're ready to do that. If you would rather type, make sure that you're ready to do that. Decide which document software you're going to use to type your response if you're doing that. Are you more comfortable in Google Docs? Would you prefer to use Word? Are you going to use Notes because you're on something that has limited technology? Make sure that you figure out which one you're going to use. And then make sure if you're typing and submitting that you very clearly label your test. So the AP Biology exam, if it has 2 questions, make sure you label it AP Biology question 1, AP Biology question 2, so that it's very clear which is which. If you are handwriting, your paper needs to be white, so don't use colored paper. Music theory requires a specific answer sheet. If you need that printed from school, you need to let me know as soon as possible so I can get it printed for you. Make sure you're using a number 2 pencil or black or blue ink. So no purple ink, no pink ink, no red ink, black or blue. And then the maximum number of pages that you can attach is 5 for the AP English and AP History tests and 10 pages for all other exams. It's highly unlikely you're going to need that many. Most of them can be answered in 1 to 2, but remember what the max is. Okay, again, go on and try that AP demo test if you haven't yet. Make sure that you're comfortable using it, because just like with any other test, the more comfortable you are, the less anxious you feel, the better you're going to do, and that's what we want. So you are going to need, on test day, your exam e-ticket email, a completed exam day checklist including your AP ID, the device that you plan on using, a working browser. Chrome is the one that's recommended. That's what's installed on all of your Chromebooks. Internet or a cellular connection, and then any assistive technology or devices that you're permitted to have. You are also permitted to have your class notes or study guides, textbooks and other classroom resources, or any previous assignments or assessments. So make sure that you have those. And I would make sure that you have those in print and not digital form. So if you need some things printed for you, please let us know so that we can get them printed and you can get them picked up. For music theory, you're going to need a smartphone, tablet, or a computer with a camera and microphone and voice recording app. You're going to need 2 to 3 printed copies of the answer sheet template with staves. And then you can use any instruments, tuners, metronomes, and digital resources to assist in preparing answers. However, your submitted answers must be created without those aids. Part writing responses have to be entirely written on the answer sheet, and sight singing responses must be performed entirely unaccompanied and unaltered. Are there any questions so far? And then you can look at this document, which will be posted on the website as well, for all the things that specifically you are going to want to have. Like if you're taking the AP Physics test, you're allowed to have a table of information and formulas and a calculator with you, along with some other things. So make sure that you go through and check and see what you can have. So here's the advice about optional resources. You can use these in either print or digital. Again, I would just print them so you're not trying to navigate through multiple windows. You've got your class notes or study guides, a textbook or other classroom resources, previous assignments, calculators for certain exams. Shared study notes must be downloaded to each student's device, so you can't collaborate on these tests. If 2 of you work together on a set of study notes, you each need to have your own copy. So if you're both looking at the same document, that's going to be a test violation and void your score. They're not restricting you from doing internet searches, but it's a lot harder to find correct information on the internet than you think. You're going to spend a lot of time doing it, and that means that you're spending less time answering the actual questions. In fact, if you're copying straight from websites, social media, or forums, that's plagiarism. It will be detected, trust me, and your score will be canceled. So don't use the internet to do your searches. Actually use your notes in your textbook. You guys are all smart cookies. So on May 4th, you're going to receive an exam confirmation and your AP ID and the list of exams that you're registered for. So make sure that you've got that email somewhere. 2 days before each of your exams, you'll receive your personalized e-ticket and AP ID. Make sure that you get those. If you don't, check College Board. If you don't see it there, please contact me as soon as possible. Make sure that you do this checklist for every test that you're taking. You can print it or hand copy it for each exam you take, and it's just a quick guide to make sure that you have everything that you need for the test you're going to take that day and that you're ready to go. On exam day, check in 30 minutes before your local start time. 30 minutes. Use your e-ticket to check in. You're going to complete all the identity confirmation information, and you're going to wait for the exam to start automatically. So 30 minutes before start time, you need to be logged in. You're going to have 45 minutes to read the question and develop the response. If your question has if your test has 2 questions, you'll have 25 minutes to read the first question and develop a response. And then you'll have 15 minutes for question 2 to read and develop a response. In the last 5 minutes, you need to be submitting that response and your exam is complete. Are there any questions about that portion? When are you going to check into your test? Thank you, Ashia. 30 minutes before you're supposed to take it, you need to check in, okay? Your testing environment. So do your best to test by yourself in a quiet room. I know that's harder in some homes than it is in others, but try to find yourself a quiet room. Let your siblings and your parents know how important this is for you to earn college credit. So quiet room by yourself. Remove as many distractions as possible. Enable the do not disturb or quiet setting on your device. So you don't want to be getting dings that people are sending you TikToks, or that you're getting likes on Instagram, or that someone's trying to contact you. You don't want to be distracted by any of that. So either turn off your phone if you're not using it, or put it in do not disturb setting and turn off notifications on your computer as well. Make sure that your device is plugged in so that you're not going to lose battery power. And if you have limited bandwidth at home, you might ask other people, if possible, to limit their use of the internet during your exam. So if someone wants to watch Netflix, maybe ask that they not do that while you're trying to take your test. Or if we want to play Fortnite, maybe we don't play Fortnite while you're trying to take your test. So you have maximum bandwidth to get it done. Make sure that you have your checklist and any other required documents next to you, so you're not trying to search for things. Exam security, and this is serious. You may not incorporate work which is not your own, and you may not provide or receive aid of any kind from anyone. To identify students attempting to receive help through the web, a phone, or social media, sophisticated detection technologies and processes will be applied. Most of those techniques will remain confidential to maximize their effectiveness. They're going to be monitoring social media and discussion sites to detect and disrupt cheating. They may post content designed to confuse and deter those who attempt to cheat. Attempts to cheat will be detected immediately during testing, or will be identified in June and July simultaneously with exam scoring. In addition, students' exams will be scanned by plagiarism detection software, which has gotten really, really good at detecting plagiarism, and it will be shared directly with your teachers. So your teachers are going to recognize if your work is not your own. Students who are found to have violated exam security will face severe consequences, which include having their names reported to college admissions offices for attempted cheating, and having your AP exam score canceled. And you may think, well, I'm admitted to that college and I cheated in high school. Why does the college care? Guys, one incidence of cheating at the University of Arkansas will get you kicked off their campus. So that's just the college that's locally here. So academic dishonesty is a serious thing. Don't try to turn in someone else's work. Use your own beautiful brain. Okay, so you're going to check in 30 minutes before the start time of your exam. You need to spend some time passing through the various security filters to confirm your identity. A timer is going to show how much time remains until the start of the exam. Once the exam starts, the first exam question will automatically appear. You should not refresh your browser. So no refreshing, it's just going to automatically do it for you. Answer the exam question. This is an example of what your ID and your name and the page number looks like. So make sure that you label it correctly. Submission.
I thought it was supposed to be a white paper.
It is white paper. It can be lined, but
Oh,
the background is white. Okay. In order to help organize your thinking, most of those questions have been divided into parts and they're labeled in alphabetical order. Use those letters to organize your response and to make sure you're not accidentally skipping any part of the question. You can use spell check and grammar check, but those are not going to provide you any advantage. If you've installed a Grammarly plugin, disable it or the exam won't function. You may print the test questions and annotate them if you like, but you can't use annotation software to annotate online. Exams with more than one question, you're not going to be able to move on to the second question until the time for the first question has fully elapsed. So even in normal AP testing, there were times where you had a specific amount of time per question and you were not allowed to move on until that time had elapsed. The same thing functions in the online world. Once the time for the first question is finished, the second question will automatically appear. Once you submit your answer, you can't go back to it. So once you hit submit, you're done. Make sure that you manage your time really well. Was there a question there? No? During the exam, you're going to see a timer at the bottom of the screen showing how much time remains to create and submit your response. Keep that timer visible. It's going to be a good reminder of how much time you have left. 5 minutes before time is up, the timer is going to turn red, so that's going to get your attention. And you'll see a pop-up reminder reminding you to submit your work. Stop where you are, copy and paste and attach your work, and then click submit. You can still earn a 5 even if you don't finish your response. If you don't submit your response on time, you don't get any credit for it. Losing track of time and not submitting a response is not an acceptable reason for requesting makeup testing. AP will set standards for scores of 3, 4, and 5 this year. It won't be any more difficult to earn high AP scores this year than it was in previous years. So this is what the attachment window will look like. If you're attaching, you're going to browse for a file, upload it, and click submit. If you're attaching photos of handwriting, you're going to upload your photos, click submit. And then if you're copying and pasting your work, you're going to see the copy paste field. After you've cleared it, or after you've pasted everything in, you'll hit submit. So after you hit submit, your submissions have to fully load before you close your browser or you turn off or restart your computer. So don't close your computer, don't close your browser until you see a message that says your exam is complete. If you don't see that message, you should go to request makeup to explain the situation and request an e-ticket for the June makeup date. So make sure that you see your AP exam is complete before you close your computer, before you close your browser, before you move on to something else. All right, so what are some things that could go wrong? If you accidentally close the browser, your device crashes, or you temporarily lose internet access, you can quickly click your exam ticket to return to the exam. Continue the exam, and if you feel at the end of the exam that the temporary disruption negatively impacted your performance, you can request a makeup approval. During the exam, don't refresh your browser and don't hit the back arrow. Everything is going to move forward on its own the way it's supposed to. And remember, don't call the customer service centers. There won't be anyone there to answer your question. All right, your exam score. As usual, AP exams are going to be scored by readers who are college professors and experienced educators. Scores will be reported on the usual 1 to 5 scale. To accommodate the extended scoring schedule, which requires all exams to be scored online in readers' homes, AP scores will be released to AP students approximately 1 week later than usual, beginning about July 15th. So the middle of July, you should know what your AP scores are. You can sign into My AP no later than June 20th to indicate which college or university should get your scores. After June 20th, there's a $15 fee for each score report that's sent. These are all of the colleges that have said that even though they're changing the format, they will be happy to accept and give credit for AP exam test scores of 3, 4, or 5. They include the University of California system, Purdue, Vanderbilt, and the University of Connecticut, the University of Arkansas, and the University of Central Arkansas, and NWAC have all agreed that they will give college credit as well for qualifying scores. Are there any questions about that? All right, guys, make sure that you check that everything works. Please remember to log in 30 minutes early. Good luck on your test next week. And if you need any help doing anything or you just want to ask a question, you're welcome to shoot me an email or schedule a meeting. If you don't have any other questions, have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you sometime.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can I use we don't have to use the Chromebook only, do we?
You do not have to use the Chromebook. You can use any device that connects to the internet.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other questions? All right, guys, good luck and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
You too.